misses it intentionally. Rebound Holmgren, three-quarter court, Jalen Williams. No, and the Dallas Mavericks for the second time in 3 years.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So after missing out on the playoffs entirely last year, the Dallas Mavericks are going back to the conference finals for the second time in 3 years. They take out the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder, who no doubt still have a bright future ahead of them, but are going home this year. Here are my 5 observations from Game 6 of this series. The first observation's got to be about Luka Doncic. He had another triple-double tonight, and it started to look better towards the end of the series. After the beginning, he definitely looked injured and was laboring around out there. There's some good with Luka. I mean, obviously he's a fantastic playmaker. He looked really good on his step-back isolation shots in this game, and of course, set up his teammates nicely a lot of times. But then the bad with Luka is just this guy complains to the refs so much. It's distracting, I think, for his teammates in the game overall. When you have your best player constantly yelling at the refs and trying to get more calls. I did think the refs had a shaky whistle today, kind of against the Mavs, and gave some calls to OKC, but you got to keep your head in the game in a big spot, especially when you're supposed to be the leader and best player on the team. Luka's been in the league 6 years now, and this is his second Western Conference Finals, so he's definitely proving that the way he plays can lead to winning basketball. He finished third in MVP. I'm not denying that he's a great player, but just watching things like a poor defensive effort that he gives out there and the constant complaining, you wonder how this is going to move onward in his career if he isn't able to win a championship and he doesn't stop doing these things. I think if he just had a better attitude in the game and gave a little bit more effort on defense, he could be one of the best players, if not the best player in the NBA. Moving on to one of the other MVP finalists this year, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I thought had a really good series. It's crazy how consistent this guy is. He scored his series high in points in Game 6, scoring 36, and as low as only 29. That just shows how consistent he is. He's pretty much good for 30 a night. He's not going to have those super explosive performances, but he's never really has a bad game, and especially in these big spots, he did show up. He just didn't really get enough help from his teammates in this one. He almost changed the outcome of this game too. With a minute left, he took that pull-up 3 to cut the lead to 2, then found Chet Holmgren 1 play later to give the Thunder that 1-point lead, and I thought that he was going to pull this miraculous victory out, send the game back home from Game 7, and this could be one of his signature moments in his young career. But things didn't end up working out that way, as he did commit that late game foul against PJ Washington, and they end up losing. That brings us to our third takeaway, that foul on PJ Washington. The first time I watched that replay, I didn't think it was a foul. Obviously, SGA comes in, he gets all ball in that initial contact, but then kind of the way PJ kept himself up in the air and SGA goes to the arm, he hasn't released it yet. I'm not a referee, I don't study the rule book on everything, but after they reviewed it, they did determine that it was a foul. And credit to PJ Washington for keeping himself in the air and being able to draw that contact and then knocking down 2 clutch free throws before intentionally missing the third. Just as a neutral fan though, you never want to see a game decided by a foul and some free throws. It was shaping out to have an awesome ending, but you have to make the call in that situation, I guess. If you're the refs one way or the other, people have been really upset if they didn't call a foul there, and the Thunder ended up winning the game. So it is what it is, but you would hoping to see a fantastic finish, maybe a last-second shot from Luka or SGA. Fourth takeaway of this series is just about Kyrie Irving. He didn't have a spectacular series just based off his stats, but he definitely had an impact in a lot of big moments. The craziest stat I've seen in a while is that Kyrie Irving is 14-0 in closeout games in the playoffs. That's absolutely ridiculous, and it shows that he does have that killer instinct. He made a big 3 in this game late to give the Mavericks a little bit more of a cushion, and Kyrie definitely put his footprint on this game. OKC did a good job defending him, I feel like, with Cason Wallace and throwing doubles when they needed. Moving on to the next series against Denver, I don't think, if it is against Denver, Minnesota definitely has a chance. I'm recording this before Game 7 of that series. If Minnesota ends up winning, I do think they have the bodies to slow them down in a similar way that OKC did. But if Denver wins, I think it would just be KCP guarding Kyrie. I don't know exactly how their matchups would go, but you wouldn't think it would be Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. So I think Kyrie has a chance to stand out in that series a lot more, and he won't be as bottled up as OKC had him. My last observation's gotta be about the rookie Derek Lively. This guy was the 12th pick in the draft, and he's already outperformed that as far as I'm concerned. Came up huge in this game with 15 rebounds, and he was a plus 26 plus minus for the game. In a 1-point win, plus 26 is absolutely insane. That stat can sometimes be skewed by runs in the game and the player not having an impact, but Lively was huge in this game. One, getting those boards, not only defensive, but also 4 huge offensive rebounds, and then just being that lob threat that people have to respect. Always knowing the right place to roll to the rim. It's crazy that this guy was such a highly regarded prospect coming out of high school, and then he was kind of seen as underperforming when he was at Duke, not living up to the hype that he was supposed to. But he's just a really good quality role player, and maybe he wasn't able to fill that star role in college, but now that he's in the NBA playing with guys like Luka and Kyrie, it's perfect for him to just do his job, roll to the hoop for those alley-oops, play good defense, and grab the boards. That's all they ask of him, and he's definitely delivered in this series. Thanks for watching. Let me know down in the comments what stood out to you in this series, and I'll see you guys next time.